My magazine represents teenagers' youth through street style while adding a feminine part. It both embraces and disrupts conventional representations of fashion and identity. Not only style, but including characteristics like confidence and fearlessness, parts of teenagers for deeper meaning, which focus on self expression for audiences who are afraid. Attention to this generation and giving voice to value their individuality and authenticity. To show this convey the meaning of my magazine, I use dark blue and white for the main color theme of my pages. Dark blue is often used as a school main color because of how it shows power and confidence through the color. Applying this to the cultural way, in Western culture, dark blue is often coded as boy color, especially in modern gender marketing. As my magazine name was to show teenage girls' journey of their face exploring their identity, acting out of female stereotype, which is being quiet, modest, and skin covering clothes, they rather start to enjoy their youth, speaking out for themselves, find their own styling that express themselves. These actions represent male stereotypical action by using boy color and girl models. It conveys my theme of my magazine, confident and outspoken teenage girls breaking the idea of female norms. There was never how girls should act or boys should act at the same time. These are society's perspective and judgments. No matter what gender they are, their own individuality and characteristics will be shown as they start exploring themselves by asking questions of society of their judgmental minds. In a wider view from fashion, navy and indigo in a streetwear can feel cool, clean, or confident. How dark blue adds mystery or depth in the context was the main reason why dark blue was the base theme color for my magazine. In deeper meaning, dark blue symbolizes sky, water, and ocean. Common feature of the sky and ocean is that they are both endless with no limit and evoke a sense of freedom. While exploring yourself, getting to know yourself, finding new things about yourself never comes to an end. How it is endless, which reflects teenagers' mind through their journey. This journey brings you a sense of freedom by differences from the action affected by mindset. Starting to try new things with your friends, acting how you truly feel. All these small differences that bring you have freedom unlike before. Considering these reasons, dark blue included the meaning of my magazine. Furthermore, dark blue isn't black but isn't light at the same time, as a sense of teenager's age, middle of turning into an adult, getting out of female children we used to be. Not too heavy but not too light as dark blue is. As I mentioned, white color was part of the purpose by being a theme color in my magazine. White was mostly used as representing teenagers' youth. Traditionally, white symbolizes purity, freshness, and innocence. In my magazine, the context of use, white can represent a sense of potential and the beginning of self-discovery. As teenagers' transition phase is a part where they are still finding their identity, it is blank of feeling how it is still being formed, like a A4 paper. However, as above, one of the most important concepts for my magazine is freedom, which white can also be read as a symbol of clarity and openness. Bright lights and mental liberation, aligning with many desires teenagers have to break free from societal expectations and judges starting to express themselves fully as they want. Colors were one of my ways to represent social groups by being a theme color in the magazine. My magazine follows traditional editorial magazine conventions such as high quality photography and bold fonts to appeal to the youthful audience. Bold font was the effect I used with Cinzel and Bebas Nail. Both Cinzel and Bebas Nail, especially in bold ways, creates a strong visual impact. How bold impact naturally draw attention and mirrors directly the bold energy of teenagers and youth culture that aligns with the My Magazine representation of the core theme of teen rebellion and confidence. Beba's nail font has a modern streetwear aesthetic that fits perfectly with the urban vibe. The bold version emphasizes power and presence, matching the expressive nature of teenagers who use fashion as a form of self-expression. Cinzel's the bold style adds drama and intensity, perfectly complements the feminine touch in my magazine. It softens a street style edge, aligning with how my magazine blends hard and soft aesthetics together. Bold Effect basically captured the fearless, loud voice of youth balancing raw street culture by softening it. Another element I used as a convention for the magazine was blue light. Blue light was a mood setter for the background of the photos. Blue light evokes coolness and emotional depth, a visually striking and atmospheric tone that reflects the inner conflict, intensity, and mystery that are often part of teenager identity, directly showing magazine's dark and expressive energy through the photos. How blue lights are frequently used in urban environments, neon signs, late night streets, or train stations. This lighting subjects directly in the visual world of street culture, adding authenticity. Teenagers' lifestyle of tempting living outside of norm, mirroring the lifestyle and mindset of the youth my magazine represents. After all, the challenging conventions were the biggest part of my magazine. Even though I aim to show breaking the gender norm by teenagers' identity journey, street style is often strongly portrayed as seen as masculine. My magazine introduced feminine touch, challenging the stereotype that urban style is male dominated by incorporating femininity into the raw, untamed aesthetic of youth culture. Not only this, my magazine challenged traditional conventions of youth and fashion media, rejecting polished, overly commercialized representations of teenagers in favor of raw, unapologetic street style aesthetic rather than portraying teenagers as passive, trend following consumers. The magazine captures their rebellious energy and self expression. This approach goes against the grain of conventional fashion magazines, which often purity of youth culture to appeal to audience, focusing on bold urban settings, mood lighting, and unfiltered emotion of teenagers. The visuals and tone reflect the real world chaos and freedom many teenagers experience. This was the challenge of the convention, also representing the teenager social group differently from what the media wants to show the teenagers as revealing their real mindset they go through. Thank you for listening.